Hey YouTube, I've been holding off taking a video on this because I've been so busy, and this time of year some things wind down in the shop, and a couple of things are a little bit bogging me down in my personal life, but that's a whole nother story. I bought this in the beginning of the summer. It's mid-July now, I believe the 17th. Anyways, I bought this probably back in May, so it would have been end of spring. And the story behind it went, I just got the tractor, and it had a mower deck on it, which is all fine and good. My old dealership, who I worked for many years, who I still have great relationship with, called me and said, hey, I know you like to buy old tractors. And I said, okay. And, you know, figuring that they had a wheel horse or something, a generic wheel horse that I don't normally buy anymore. And I see this, and I was like, oh, wow. I remember working on this before. I've worked on this tractor probably 6 years, you know, in a row, from 2007 or 8, you know, every single season. And this guy lives locally who owned it. And it only had the mower deck on it. And I saw these loader mounts, this metal bracket with this circle, and I was like racking my brain because I think there's two of these that go to the dealership, and I remember it one year with a loader, and then next year it had a mower on it. So the story goes, the guy who owned the tractor kept his attachments at the next door neighbor's house, and the next door neighbor sold the house with the attachments, and I don't know why, that's crazy, but so basically a loader, a tiller, and a snowblower were sold with the next door neighbor's house. And this guy was sick of fixing this tractor because it's old and the dealership charges a lot of money. So he decided to sell it. And I found out where the guy lived because they put the name of the guy on the back of the seat, and I knew he was from a certain town nearby, and I went and tracked him down and said, hey, you know, you still got the attachments, and that's where I found out the story. Turns out the neighbor who bought the house is a famous NHL player, so I ended up having to buy the attachments from an NHL player, and kind of blew my mind, but whatever, away it goes. But this is the tractor. It's a Simplicity Sunstar 20 with the hydraulic or hydrostatic drive. I believe the transaxle is like a Peerless Sunstar 15. It's similar to the John Deere's. It's got dual drum brakes. It actually has the PTO in the back. It's hard to find those. It's got the sleeve hitch. What else? It's got the weights in the back. This is your pump. I'm gonna change the filter and the fluid. Again, I just haven't gotten around to it. As you can see, I greased it. But I just haven't been, I have no time. So I'm going to replace the tie rod end ball joint type things. They're called ball joints when you buy the part, but as you can see, they're pretty bad. That shouldn't be like that. It's got power steering, which is pretty sweet. I like that. Other than that, it has, apparently, if it wasn't foggy, 227 hours. Which I tend to believe because the guy's property is actually very small. It has a hydraulic lift for like a mower. Here's your hydro drive, your power steering. I've yet to use the choke on this. It seems to start up absolutely perfect. The hood doesn't open all the way, but I do have the air induction out right now because I had to fill up the hydrostatic fluid. But it's a Kohler Magnum 20, and it's been serviced every single year. And it just had I think around $500 or $600 worth of work last year, and that's great. But I personally myself did the filter, if you can see it. Should be right there. It is. There's my new filter, and I filled it all up with I forget the type of fluid, but I think it's ATF type F, automatic transmission fluid. That's what it called for. So I put, I think, 6 quarts in, and it was like 5 3/4 because there's some fluid in the reservoir. But the way to tell if it's full is this is in this hose here. It's like a clear surgical tubing hose, and I guess that's how you can tell. It's easier to tell on the John Deeres, but other than that, I will fire this thing up for you. And the seat keeps getting soaked for some reason, so I have some ass protection. We'll fire this up. Front PTO and your rear PTO. All the hoses are in like perfect condition, which is great. No smoke. And it idles right down. It's one of the best running Kohler KT, well, it's not a KT, a Magnum I've ever heard. So we'll let that run, and I will show you the attachments. Go back here, and it is a mess. Well, it's gotten a little bit better, but my old wheel horse, Scott's, I gotta fix for a customer. But here's the snowblower. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, is, you know, has a little bit of surface rust, but all the bearings and everything's in perfect shape. It's only been sitting out here for a month or so. And then the tiller, which these are hard to find, but they're absolutely incredible. And the tines are in very, very good shape. You can tell the guy didn't use it really. So that's a shaft driven. It's pretty big deal. Yeah, the snowblower, I really personally wouldn't use it, but we'll venture to the mower deck now. But this is a pretty sweet tractor. Once you get off the tractor, the PTO switch will stay on, but it kills the PTO. So it has a differential lock and high and low. Bucket gets higher than that, but that's the pump. All the lines are in extremely good shape. Bucket's in really good shape. So that's pretty nice. The diff lock is just a rod that you step on, and it will lock up the wheels, which is pretty nice. Over here we have the mower, which is a gearbox driven deck, and I got 2 rollers because this is kind of crappy and that one's really crappy. So I'm gonna put 2 deck rollers on it. The blades are sharpened. I already sharpened them. I'm gonna take these panels off and clean it all out, and then I'll grease it. Yeah, but I mean, it really didn't need much work. I just did some preventative maintenance to it, and I'll replace those ball joints when I have a little bit more time. But you know, for a 1980s tractor, it's in really, really nice shape, and it runs good, charges, drives great, it's quiet, power steering works well. So, you know, that's pretty much it for the Simplicity Sunstar 20. If you have any questions, I've done quite a bit of research about them, and they're decent machines. I mean, they're pretty much built like a John Deere. They have very similar components to a John Deere, like a 318 or even like a 420. 420 is a little bigger, but it's more of like a 300 series John Deere. They have similar transmissions and transaxles and hydro drives and things like that. So enough of me rambling. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later.